Greetings and salutations, and this is Techrodot here with, well, maybe a one-off video, maybe an occasional series video. I don't know how I'm going to approach this game yet. I don't know if I'm going to just do a one-off video of it and then never do a video of it again, or if I'll just occasionally do a video of it as like as part of the miscellaneous videos for Run-On Games, you know, because you know each season I have miscellaneous one-off videos. So I may use this game for that. I may also use it as part of the planned game intermission that I plan to do. I may play it for a couple videos of that. Who knows? But for now, we are playing Crash Team Rumble. Or, hold on. Crash Team Rumble! My Cortex impression needs practice. I haven't really done a bunch of that impression as of late, so like if it sounds bad, that's why. I actually have no idea how it sounds, because when I record myself doing it, it sounds perfectly fine, but I know that's not always accurate, because sometimes when you do a voice impression, it's going to sound better or worse to you than it is to other people. Like, for example, my Maurice LaMarche impression, which I mainly do via embryo and the brain quotes, sounds better to me than it does to other people. It's still a good impression, but to me it sounds dead on, and in reality I know it's just kind of close. It's not dead on. My Cortex impression has the opposite effect, where it sounds worse to me than it does to others. But unlike the Maurice LaMarche one, I haven't really gotten an outside opinion. That's just kind of what I expect, because I don't know. I would just expect it's probably better than it sounds to me, because it just seems like one of those voices where like it feels like I do the voice good, but then when I hear it played back to me personally, it doesn't sound that good. Like, hold on, let me try an actual quote he says. Actually, funny enough, we're playing them right now. After playing this game for a few days, I've actually decided on, like, for the most part, which characters I like the most to play as. And that's Cortex, Catbat, and Dingodile. I also like playing, a little bit of Ripperoo, and haven't practiced Engine too much, so I don't have much of an opinion on it here, but I like to play Ripperoo, and I like to play Ripperoo and Tana a bit here and there, but I don't really play them much. It's mainly Cortex, Catbat, and Dingodile. I stay away from Crash and Coco because I'm decent at playing them. It's just that I got to play enough of them in like Crash 4 as well as the Insane trilogy. I kind of like the ability to play characters we don't get to play that often in this game. Which, speaking of which, Cortex has had a really huge glow up from It's About Time to here. What do I mean by that? Well, you're witnessing it. You can actually fucking control him when you dash. Or at least have like a semblance of control over it. Whereas in Crash 4, it felt like the moment you dashed, if you didn't know exactly where you were, what direction you were gonna end up in, you were basically fucked. Like I don't really know how to explain it, because his dash almost looks entirely the same. Like, it's not like they just made it a lot more controllable or anything like that. No, that's not what happened. His dash just feels a lot less janky. It was kind of jank in Crash 4. Like, he was the one character in Crash 4 who felt janky. But in this game, he feels smooth as fuck. And you might be saying, well, maybe it's the type of gameplay you're using him in, or maybe it's the fact you're using him in 3D environments a lot more, which, granted, his dash does feel better to control in 3D environments, but no, I don't think that's it. I think they literally just tweaked him to control better for this game. I noticed that they did the same with Dingodile a little bit. Dingodile was already like pretty much perfect in It's About Time. Him and Tana both. But I noticed they tweaked his movement a little bit where it feels ever so slightly smoother. As for Crash, Coco, and Tana, they kind of all controlled exactly the same as they did in It's About Time. Crash and Coco are just missing the slide. Oh no, Crash has the slide. I don't think Coco does. Actually, I'm not... Yeah, I don't think Coco has the slide. I think she has another move where she puts down these barriers in place of the slide, if I'm not mistaken. Which is actually a nice thing, honestly. I kind of hope that, like, if they continue, like, down the path from It's About Time to future Crash games, or just if they make future Crash games in general where you can control both Crash and Coco. And when I say, like, future games, I'm talking about, like, mainline games, not games like this. Then I honestly think they should work on giving Coco, like, her own moveset. Obviously, they should still share the spin attack, the jump, the double jump, and the slam, the body slam. That should be shared. But, like, maybe, like, let Crash have wall running, rope swinging, and the slide, and then Coco has, like, 3 other things in place of that. That, like I'm talking like that. Like, one thing Coco could have that she actually has in this game is that a barrier thing. But maybe, like, in a single-player Crash game, you wouldn't really have much use of that because here it just kind of damages enemies when they touch it. But in a regular Crash game, that wouldn't really be much of a use. Maybe when Coco, maybe it creates a platform temporarily or something. Like, maybe when she dashes, it generates a platform below where she ends up. Maybe, like, something like that. I don't know. Like, Cortex already had that in It's About Time with his ray gun, so I'm not sure if that should be the direction. But, like, I'm just saying, do something like that in place of the slide. Or maybe just have, like, her little air dash thing that she has when you do that. Maybe just have her have that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to give her in place of the wall run and rope swing, honestly. Maybe, try to think about that. Maybe she could activate switches from afar with her laptop or something. I don't know. That kind of reminds me of Twin Sanity, where Cortex's ray gun could activate switches from across a gap. Cortex and Twin Sanity, in my opinion, was better than Cortex when It's About Time. Having controlled both. In Twin Sanity, I mean, It's About Time, Cortex definitely has the more interesting moveset and has more for you to do. But Twin Sanity, Cortex just controlled a lot better, you know? And obviously, I already gave my opinion on Crash Team Rumble Cortex. And I would just call it CTR, but we already got a CTR. Like, I don't know how to abbreviate this game. I really don't. Because CTR is Crash Team Racing. How do you abbreviate this game? I mean, I guess you could just call it Crash Rumble or something. Or maybe you just call it... I don't know. Like, I really don't know how to, like, shorten the name of this game. I mean, you don't really need to shorten it. It's not a very long title. It's just Crash Team Rumble. It's literally 4 syllables, which is not a very long title at all. Like, with Crash Bandicoot, It's About Time. That's, a lot of syllables. So, abbreviating it to Crash 4 just makes sense. Same with Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. A bunch of syllables, you call it Crash 2. You know? But with Crash Team Rumble, it's a pretty short name. You don't really gotta, like, abbreviate it or shorten it. It's just... I just wish there was a way to do it without confusing it with Crash Team Racing. And I'm gonna give my opinion on Embryo real quick because I think we're either halfway through this match or we're almost done with it. I don't know exactly where we're... Looking at the score, it looks like we're almost done with it. But what's my opinion on Embryo? I think Embryo comes close to being perfect. with his moveset. Comes close. I have a gripe with his drinking animation time, like his transformation animation time. I have a gripe with it. I think it's like half a second too long. Just half a second too long, that's it. That's literally my gripe with it. And you might be wondering, why does that like half a second matter? Because that half a second is why shit like what you were seeing a moment ago happens. I've had literal matches where like the enemy team booster will chase me down, basically bully the fuck out of me just so I can't transform. They'll even chase me to the opposite side of the map where if I transform right there, I ain't even gonna be able to do anything to like the fucking to their fucking what you call it, this thing right here, this red thing, yeah, whatever you call this. Like, I forgot the name of it because I'm not playing the game right now. When you play the game, you know the name of it. It's just right now I'm blanking on it. But this thing right here, I've had times where like they'll chase me to the exact opposite side of the map of this thing and still try to fucking kill me. And it only happens with enemy team Dingo-Diles and Cocos. I have a big fucking gripe with Coco in this game. I really do. I think every character in this game, for the most part, is balanced enough. Good God, does Coco need a nerf on one thing and one thing alone? Coco needs a nerf on her fucking block thing. The little sideways platform she puts up. She needs a slight nerf on that. Because the amount of times I've had a Coco kill me or a teammate booster, or not booster, the amount of times I've had a Coco kill me playing as a blocker, or kill a teammate playing as a blocker, just by spamming the fuck out of those sideways digital platform things, is ridiculous. And when I say spam, obviously like Coco can't put them down like every half second or anything like that. There's like a second delay in between, but that second delay don't do shit. Trust me on that, it don't do shit. Because they can keep placing it down every time they do an air dash. Which is what I'm going to call it, because I don't really know what you actually call that move. It's just where you try to slide in the air. There's Coco. But, good God, does that need a nerf? And I don't even care if they gotta buff something else on her just to balance it. I don't care. Just nerf that part a little bit. And I would even, here's my suggestion for it. Just make there be a longer cooldown than just the animation to air dash. Like maybe you can't do it every time you dash through the air as Coco. Maybe you have to maybe there's like a 3-second delay. 3-second delay would be enough to make it work. Just a 3-second delay instead of just the 1 second it takes to do the animation again. Just 3-second delay. That's it. Or alternative, you can break it. Just like you can break the power-ups and abilities that people put down. You can break it. That's the alternative. But I think the 3-second delay would be a lot less of a nerf to the character, to Coco. I think people would still play her a lot, still enjoy her that way. Whereas the case with the with them being breakable, it kind of makes it really weak. So I honestly think the 3-second delay would be enough. Just do that. Outside of Coco and Embryo, I don't think any characters need changes. Like the rest of them, being someone who's tried them all and fought against them all, the rest of them are pretty well damn, are pretty balanced, honestly. Cortex's ray gun can be like damaging if you're playing as a booster or a scorer. If you're playing as a booster or a scorer, an enemy Cortex ray gun can be pretty damaging. However, his ray gun is pretty tricky to aim due to like obviously it not having like a reticle or anything. Like it is a little tricky to aim it. Not too tricky, like you get used to it. You obviously saw me playing as Cortex the first match of this video, but like everything in this game gets a balance like that. The only exception being Coco's fucking platform thing. There's no drawback to that. I think that's what the problem is. There's no drawback to it. Like, every good thing in this game has a drawback, and every bad thing has an upside, except for Coco's fucking platform things. And that's the thing. And honestly, I'm not worried about that sandstorm at all. Actually, that's our sandstorm, isn't it? Yeah, I think so, because it wasn't even doing shit. Yeah, that's our sandstorm, I believe. Whoever activated these, y'all the GOAT. Y'all the GOAT. I'm just saying, y'all the GOAT. But yeah, I have the most fun playing as Catbat, Cortex, and Dingo Dial for a good reason. Dingo Dial's the one, like, is the one blocker that I actually don't die constantly with most games. Well, the reason for that is I don't really like the way Entropy plays, but the one game I played with Entropy, I didn't really die that much. I just don't care for her, like the way she plays. The case with Ripperoo is just that I've only played like 1 or 2 games and I need more practice, so that's kind of what it is. Embryo's fucking animation is the whole reason I get killed constantly with him. Dingo Dial I could pretty much stay alive with. See, the time this match happened was like a few days back. Since then, I've actually gotten a little better with Dingo Dial, and I don't die as much as you see here. In fact, the final match of this video is the only one that's like accurate to my current skill. Because most of these were from a few days ago at the time of recording this. So, the last match that's coming up is the only one that like kind of showcases my current skill at this game. I've been playing it almost daily for at least an hour. It depends on how busy I am on some days, because ever since I got the game, I've been busy some days and I haven't other days, you know. Life be like that. But basically, I played it when I can. Been playing it alongside Separate Ways, actually. I got it with Separate Ways, so that was kind of a nice buy. I got the season pass too, but only because it was kind of cheap. Like, I literally could... Here's the thing. I got this game on sale. I need to specify that now. I got this game for like $17, and then I got Separate Ways for $10. So I was like, you know what? I could spare $10 for a season pass. Plus, this game, I noticed before I got the season pass, I went through and saw that this game pays you back all the coins that you would have bought for the season if you get to the end of the season pass. And considering the season is going to be 3 more months, I think I can do that. I'm already at like level 19 on the season pass, and that's just from like owning this game for like 4 days, 4 or 5 days, give or take. So yeah, I think I could like realistically get to the end of the season pass before the season's over and get all my coins back and not have to buy a season pass again. I can just put the coins in. That's how Apex works too, but the thing with Apex is it's a lot harder to get up in the season pass on that game. This game, you seem to level up in the season pass just from playing the game well enough. Like, you don't even gotta win, you just gotta play the game well enough. You just gotta do shit, basically, and you level up. With Apex Legends, you have to perform certain tasks to really get enough levels, and that's kind of why it's much harder to level up in Apex than it is in this game. But yeah. We're playing Dingo again. Dingo Dial's the character I'm most experienced with. I'll say that now, but that's because he was the first. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, him, Coco, and Crash were the starter characters. And he was the only starter character I really had fun with. Because Coco and Crash kind of just played like normal Crash games. And yeah, that's still fun, but not really in this kind of environment, in my opinion. It's not really fun to play them in this kind of game. It's more fun to play them in like a platformer game. I mean, this kind of is. I actually like that about this though. This game is kind of set up like a 3D platformer version of It's kind of like a 3D platformer version of Overwatch, except you have to score points rather than killing. Like, replace kills with scoring points as the main objective. I mean, you still get like stuff for killing like enemies, so that's not really like taken out of the game as a whole. It's just not the main focus. Instead, your main focus is scoring. So like, imagine like Overwatch, but it's a 3D platformer, and the main focus is scoring, and killing is just a side objective. That's basically what this game is. And you might be saying, isn't that a bit like complicated of an explanation? Well, that's less complicated of an explanation than the way they actually described this game before its release. I don't remember it word from word, but it was like a multiplayer platformer, something. Like, it was a really long genre title, and I was like, no, I'd rather just call it Overwatch, but with platforming, because it's not as accurate, but it's close enough. Difference is, this game actually had developers that might actually give a shit, and Overwatch has developers who are fucked. You know, Blizzard. And obviously, I know Activision's sus too, but I'm specifically talking about the developers, Toys for Bob. I don't support Activision when I play these games. I support the developer, Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions, and Beanox, because, I'm not sure about Beanox because I don't know too much about them, but I know Vicarious Visions and Toys for Bob actually do care about Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. So I actually support them. That's my goal when I get these games. I'm supporting them. Because you gotta think about it. Boycotting a game because of its sus as fuck developer affects because of its sus, but boycotting a game because it's sus as fuck publisher affects the developer too, and a lot of development teams, a lot of developer teams for games or for gaming are actually good people that work hard. Sure, the publisher's sus as fuck and does shit things, but like, you gotta realize at some point that developers are already in harsh conditions. They need all the money they can get out of that game. So you need to like support it. Like, you boycotting a game might make work conditions worse for them because they don't get paid as well when less people play their game. You get what I'm saying? Like you not playing their game might make them get paid less on the next game project they work on under that same developer, because that developer's like, well, you didn't sell this well, so we're gonna have to cut some corners in some places. Like, that's literally what will happen if like not enough people play the game, you know? And I know one person doesn't change it, and I know that's probably gonna be your argument. Well, if I'm just not playing it, it's not a problem. Well, fact of the matter is, you're not the only one who thinks like that. There's like, if you put it this way, if you think about boycotting a game, you're likely not the only one. You're likely not the only one. That's the thing about that. And I would rather support the game and have a chance at giving the developers a higher budget for their next title so they can get paid better than not support it just to spite the publisher and potentially play a part in the developers being treated and paid worse on their next project. That's my mindset. But yeah, I'm sorry I went off topic this last bit, but oh well, it's whatever. I'm gonna be ending off the video here, so we got Ripperoo and Entropy. Okay, nice. Bye!